Hi folks, and welcome to Truck King. Sitting next to me is my 1985 Chevy K10, better known as Big Green. Now this truck lived most of its life in Colorado, and that's why it doesn't have a lot of rust on it, just a little bit. If it came from here in Ontario or anywhere else they use road salt, well, it just wouldn't look like that. And I want to keep it looking like that. So in this video, we're going to go talk to the folks at Krown Rust Control. We're going to get this truck sprayed, and I'll be able to tell you what the process is like, what it costs, and then we're going to go for a drive. I actually have a job to do. We're going to go pick up an ATV with the truck as well. So I'll share some more details on what's going on with Big Green. We'll put it to work, and then at the end, we'll talk again about Krown and whether or not it's worth it. Make sure you stay tuned. Folks, I just left Krown Rust Control here in Barrie, Ontario, and first of all, I'm just feeling good knowing my truck is now a little bit more protected than it was before. Immediately after you leave Krown, they do tell you your brakes might be a little bit slippery because the Krown product will be on your brake pads. There's going to be a bit of smoking and a bit of a smell because of course it got on your exhaust and other hot components. So as things heat up, everything is giving me a nice little odor, but you just drive it for a little bit, that'll all burn off, and just be aware that's totally normal. Now the process itself was quick and painless. I think I was out of there in 30-45 minutes tops. Three guys spraying the truck. They knew exactly what to do. It didn't matter that it was an old vehicle, lifted vehicle, none of that stuff matters. They all know exactly how to spray each vehicle. And on my truck, they did have to drill a couple of holes in the doors to make sure they can get to the insides of the panels. On most new vehicles, those holes come from the factory, so there's less drilling involved. But then when they're done drilling, they just put little caps in those holes, and again, you're good to go. So yeah, from my perspective, that whole process, quick, easy, and painless. And full disclosure, I didn't pay. Krown did cover the cost of my rust proofing in exchange for this video, but at 150 bucks seems fairly reasonable for something that's gonna really keep up the value on your vehicle.
Stephen, you asked me, why you should rust control a vehicle, and the bottom line is that more vehicles are taken off the road because of corrosion than because of engine wear. And if you don't believe me, go to the wreckers and you're going to find thousands of trucks with great motors. They're completely rotted out.
Oh yeah.
Another thing people don't realize is rust control doesn't cost you anything. You say, how's that? If you were to spray it every single year, first of all the money that you save on the repairs, just put that aside. You be the advocate. You got two vehicles sitting there, 10 years old. One guy's been spraying it for 10 years straight with a lifetime warranty, the other guy not. Which vehicle would you pay more money for?
Yeah, for sure, the Krown one.
So you tell me.
Yeah, it's my understanding it shows up on a Carfax as well, that if your vehicle's been crowned.
That's right.
Cool.
Can you imagine? So they realize that your vehicle's more valuable if it's been crowned every year.
Yeah.
So you get your money back. Not to mention, all of the things that many consumers don't think of. Stephen, most consumers, all they care about is perforation.
Sure.
What they don't understand is when we spray these great big Freightliners or these great big trucks that are all plastic now, why do they spray? Well, the bottom line is if they spray every year and a mechanic works on it, every single bolt, every single nut is not going to be seized.
Oh, wow.
Because you've sprayed a penetrant on it every year.
Yeah.
How much is that going to save you on working on your vehicle?
Yeah, that's a huge deal.
It's massive.
That's
because
cool.
they can justify the spray just on that alone, but it still works for you the same way. It just makes complete sense.
So what is the cost of Krown, John? Like on my truck here today, what would that have cost?
Okay, so if you came in straight retail price, it's $149.95. So $150.
Yeah.
Now, the beauty in that is it's locked in. If you come in every year, it's locked in for life. So
Nice.
if you had started 30 years ago, you're probably paying $99 every time you come in.
Got it.
So again, it's a reasonable cost. What can you do on a vehicle? Honestly,
Yeah.
for $149.95.
Yeah, not too much.
Some oil changes are now starting to cost that,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, beautiful. I think the last thing, John, just tell me or tell people where they can come find you if they want to get their vehicle sprayed.
Well, if you're coming to Barrie, you look up Krown, I guess online. Krown with a K though, K-R-O-W-N.
There on the shirt.
Yeah, there you are, Krown. There you go. And we're at 10 Cross Street, so it's in the Tiffin and Ferndale area.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, John. I appreciate everything today, man.
Well, thank you very much.
Now, another thing they say about Krown is it will drip once you get home. I mean, they just sprayed so much onto the undercarriage and it gets oversaturated, so there's extra Krown on there and it drips off. So you either want to park on gravel maybe, or, you know, I don't know, on the road, I guess, although that's not the nicest solution because when the Krown drips off, it's really slippery. So any spot that it drips onto is going to get really slick. The best thing to do is lay down a tarp or a big piece of cardboard in your driveway and just let the Krown drip onto that. Otherwise, what else is going on with Big Green? Well, still got a bit of that exhaust leak going on, and that's just, I did replace the gasket. I probably need 2 or maybe even 3 gaskets in there just to really seal up that connection. Besides that, she's running great these days. The new starter, I had a couple hiccups with it, but it seems like I'm all good now, and she's starting up really nicely. And you know what? I'm actually putting the truck to the test, or doing some work with her. I've got to go pick up a Yamaha Kodiak for a upcoming review. And even though Dad and I do have a Tundra this week, I said, you know what? I want to take Big Green and do it. So I think that's a close on this day, on my Krown spraying day. And next time you see me, we'll be picking up a Yamaha Kodiak 700, and we'll talk about hauling an ATV in an old truck. Here it is, all loaded up, and man, this truck looks so much better with an ATV in the back. Plus, this is a nice color. So, this is a 2021 Yamaha Kodiak 700. Now, the Kodiak is Yamaha's biggest and best utility machine. If you've got work to do and you need big power from Yamaha, you go for the Kodiak. Now, what's going to be interesting is my parents actually own a 2015 Yamaha Kodiak 700. So we're going to compare old versus new and see if the new model is any better than the old one. But for now, we're going to hit the road with Big Green and get this ATV home. And we're on our way here today, folks. I am going to leave the window a little bit open because it's really hot out today. It's quite humid. So I've got the Kodiak in the back of this bed. That Kodiak back there has a dry weight of 680 pounds. So add on gas and other fluids, you're talking about 700 pounds. Now this truck, when it was brand new, according to the little sticker on the glove box, had a cargo carrying capacity of 1,002 pounds. Of course, like I said, that's when it was brand new though. I have since added these massive tires on here, new suspension as well from Skyjacker. So I don't know what the true number is now. So when I drive this truck, it's really just a butt test. I'm really just trying to feel, you know, how much it's changed and how much it is straining with that weight back there in the bed. Now, I was able to get the tailgate fully closed with this Kodiak, which is a nice thing. I've had a couple other ATVs in here, and usually it's how aggressive the tires are, because if they're really aggressive, they have big tread, and that's enough to keep the gate from closing. But this Kodiak doesn't have ultra aggressive tires, so it just fit in there. But that, you know what, it's nice to have it closed, but I still had to tie it down, of course, and that exposes another weak area of older trucks. Tie-down points, there just weren't any. It's not like today where every single pickup truck has at least a D-ring down in the corner. When they were building these trucks, they didn't put any rings in the corner at all. All I have are the stake hole pockets, which of course, you know, farmers used to use back in the day to build all sorts of structures to haul hay. And of course, you can drill into that and install your own tie-down points. There's things that can be done. But my point here is it's another thing we kind of take for granted these days with new trucks is all of these tie-down points from the factory on a truck like Big Green here. Yeah, that just, they weren't there. They were non-existent. All right, now I'm merging onto the highway here, the 404 northbound. So let's see how she feels. And so far, I mean, for any of you that don't know, my truck here has a ZZ6 crate engine in it. That's a 350 V8. It's got 400 horsepower at the crank. Power-wise, no problem whatsoever. You really don't even feel that much of a difference. And then when it comes to the ride and handling, well, handling is fine, and the ride is nicer. Like with most trucks that use leaf springs, those leafs are quite stiff when they're unloaded because they're ready for a load. So you put, you know, near 700 pounds in the back, and the entire truck just feels a little squatted in the rear, makes it nice and flat, and that results in this yeah, smooth, pillowy ride. So if I could drive around at all times with an ATV, I would. Honestly, it's a little bit nicer in here, just cruising down the highway, hitting all these bumps.
And here we are back home with Big Green. I'm parking it on the tarp for at least one more day until all of that crown has dripped off. And I'm excited to get up north and get out there and test that Kodiak for you. But what's the verdict on this video? Well, I mean, from everything I've seen so far, this crown rust proofing is going to work excellent. Now, I can't actually tell you if it's going to work for quite a while, but don't worry. I don't plan on sending this truck anywhere, so we'll revisit in 6 months, maybe a year, and, you know, see if it really did slow down or stop all of that rust. Well, folks, that's it for this video. I'm excited that Big Green is a little more protected now because I want this truck to last a long time. Of course, now I want to hear from you, so go in the comments, let me know what you think of my truck, what you think of crown rust proofing. Maybe you've done it to your car. Let me know your experience. And then, as always, make sure you leave that comment, hit like, hit subscribe, and then come right back here to the channel to see what we're testing next. And I can already tell you, it's going to be this Yamaha Kodiak. See ya, everybody.